So I've been looking to watch Infinity Pool for a while. I had no clue what to expect, to be honest with you people. No clue. So yeah, very much blown away by this. Right? It's directed, and written by Brandon Cronenberg. The film is produced by Rob Cotterill, uh, Andrew Cividio, um, Jonathan Halperin, Karen Hamish, Anita Juka, Daniel Kresmany, Noah Siegel, and Christina Pivesinen. It's executive produced by Maria Zuckerman, Emily Thomas, Alexander Skarsgård, Tom Quinn, uh, Hengamuf Panahi, Charlotte Mickey, Laurie May, Adrian Love, Emily Colassa, Ryan Heller, Jeff Deutschman, Brandon Cronenberg, and Michael Bloom. It is co-executive produced by Brendan Gunn, and it's associate produced by Yona Strauss, Laura Sinovich, Lagos Nagy, Ivona Juka, Karim Hassan, and Ryan Bobkin. So Tim Hecker handles the music, Karim Hassan cinematography as well. James Vandos Walter edits the piece, while Mark Bennett and Deirdre Bowen were on casting duties. Josiah Mackenzie, production design. Art direction is Clara Farkas and John O'Regan. Set decoration is Rita Hettenel. And costume design is Maria Fatter. Okay, so the cast. Well, Alexander Skarsgård is James Foster. His wife, M, is played by Cleopatra Coleman. We then have got Album Buer, played by Jalil Lespart. His wife, Gabi, played by Mia Goth. There's Jennifer, played by Amanda Brugel. Dr. Bob Modan, played by John Ralston. Charles, played by Jeffrey Ricketts. Bex, played by Caroline Bolton. Detective Thrash, played by Thomas Kretschmann. Who else do we have? There's Ketch, played by Adam Bonch. We've got Myro's wife, played by Camelia Fatso. His son, played by Christoph Kovacs, and daughter, played by Lena Juka Stambok. The receptionist is played by Romina Tonkovic. The mistress is played by Anita Majar. The bus driver is played by Oscar Boskic. So, the gist of the story: while staying at an isolated island resort, James and Em are enjoying a perfect vacation of pristine beaches, exceptional staff, and soaking up the sun. But guided by the seductive and mysterious Gabi, they venture outside the resort grounds and find themselves in a culture filled with violence, hedonism, and untold horror. So this is, yo, this is crazy. It really is, right? We open up and we hear a conversation. It's pitch black, right? And then suddenly, boom, light hits you, right? As M opens up the curtains to their hotel room, which is this kind of blast of reality to the viewer. And like their conversation, there is a little something to it, but you're not quite sure what exactly is going on. But as they're leaving the hotel, you kind there's certain glances between the two, which makes you think, right? It makes you think that maybe not all is right here, you know? So they're just going to eat, and that's when Gabby comes over, and she's like, "Oh, you're James Foster. I loved your book. Oh, and she's talking to her husband. No, this is the book, the author of the book I love." And they're just talking, but you can see that this is really, oh, James loves it, right? Because I think he's he hasn't written anything in a while, right? He's struggling to write. So having someone, you know, laud him for his work, especially because the book supposedly didn't sell gangbuster numbers. So he's loving it. And it's a young girl, So there's certain looks she's throwing him. So when it's like, oh, they're lured to go outside, not really. You know what I mean? They go outside because James wants to go outside. He wants to be around Gabby and hear her praise of him all the time. You know what I mean? Which you gotta feel is slightly weird because a husband's right there. And it's not to say that mad, inappropriate things are being said, but there's a certain tone to it all. Right. So when they get into a predicament, that's when things get super crazy here. Because we get things introduced that are like, wait, what type of film are we watching? You know what I mean? Because it completely then just throws you. But what it does too is open up this discussion, this narrative of what would you do, right? What would you do when there's not really any repercussions? And it really just flips the dynamic. So it's very interesting that you have James and M to see the counterpoints of this thing. Now, it's not so much in discussions, but it's in the body language, it's in the mindset, the way they carry themselves after this thing. And it's super interesting, right? But then you see it with these other guests, Gabby and her friends, and you're just, man, it is something else because not only are we getting these actions, but we're also having like these crazy visuals, right? It's kind of psychedelic, trancy, but also it's kind of like this altered mental state, right, that you're being thrust into. And we're seeing things that you just be like, you're not necessarily seeing in other films. You know what I mean? It's like yeah, just the some of the graphic nature of things, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's pornographic, but provocative, right? It's getting in your face, being like, yeah, what the fuck are you gonna say? Right? Yeah, that's what you're seeing right now. And what? What? Oh, are you scared? Are you scared? You know, what are your viewpoints? What do you think of this? Would you do this shit? You know what I mean? That's what it feels like it's doing to you. And you're just like, yo, what the fuck? These people are crazy. But it really does, like, just brashly, you know what I mean, tell this story. It's not a nice story, people. It's not a nice, these aren't nice people. But I think coming out now, especially, I think people will be able to understand this film. Because, you know, you could go, wait, who is doing this? Right? Who isn't just leaving? Who isn't removing themselves from that situation? But I think the pandemic really helped spotlight certain behaviors. And they're not new behaviors, people. It's shit we have seen time and time again. But a lot of people who aren't affected by certain things want to bury their head in the sand and think, oh, the world's not like that. Everything is fine. You know what I mean? But when people did shit during the pandemic, it kind of made it front page news because you couldn't go out. So all of these issues were just front and center. And we saw people do things because they thought, oh, I can get away with this shit. You know what I mean? Like the MPs' parties, right? Like in the UK, in the state, every country, you saw politicians and, you know what I mean? Just certain famous people think, oh, I can do this shit. And then they got caught. And then it's just like, what? Oh, I can't? Right, what? Or putting out the, you know, like the song and other crazy ass things, but going, oh, this is what people want to hear. And then everyone's just like, shut the fuck up. But they're just like, wait, what did we do wrong? Huh? But because for years, people would get away with certain behaviors, you know? And I think that's what this shows. If you could get away with certain shit, what would you do? And boy, boy. But it's like the end of this film, I think, was another interesting point because it shows that kind of stark realization, maybe, of the lines that are being crossed and the kind of like, well, what do I do now? Right? How do you transition back? Can you transition back? What road are you on now? Right? Which is interesting. And then you just get slapped in the face with these mad aggressive frigging credits, which are like, it's a crazy red background with just the name of the actor and actress in black, but in repetition. So it's just like boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? This film just feels like it's unapologetic. And it it's definitely the nature of it, right? The nature of the story, which makes you think about these different situations, think about these different themes, behaviors, all of that. It definitely is kind of similar to Possessor, Cronenberg's last film in 2020, which was great. I saw that during the London Film Festival that year. You know, that was another great film. You know, he's followed it up with this one. Like, so I'd say if you like Possessor, if you liked Triangle of Sadness, The Menu, like those type of films, then Infinity Pool definitely will work for you. You'll definitely enjoy it. But it's trippy. It's fucked up. You know what I mean? It's in your face. But it's so well done. Like the acting is great. Like, gotta say, Mia Goth's voice is mad grating. You know what I mean? But it works for that character, right? Because that gets like that cloying, fucking, ugh. You know, like, James, oh, James. You know, he's just like, shut up. But like, yeah, the acting is great. Like, it's just the production, the cinematography, just all the things work. All the things work. So, people, yes, Triangle of Sadness, Possessor, The Menu. If you enjoy those, then Infinity Pool is definitely going to be for you.